I've always wondered why Jesus told Mary Magdalene not to touch him, because he had not yet risen to his Father, and yet days later he has Thomas place his hands in his wounds. Can you explain the discrepancy? Thank you, Valerie.
Yeah, there are two sets of appearances here, right? There are the appearances to the women which actually occur before the appearances to the apostles. Now, for whatever reason, and I must say it is a subject of great debate among historical exegetes, why it seems that the appearance to the women is much more corporealized, right? That is to say, Jesus does not appear to be manifesting either the spiritual features or the glorified features that he manifests very clearly to the apostles just subsequent to it. So, again, there's a lot of debate why that is so. Now, the first thing, of course, is, hey, Jesus is already transphysical. He can appear any way he wants. He can appear to Mary Magdalene just looking like the gardener. He can appear to the apostles walking along the road, right, to Emmaus, right, or to Emmaus, as we sometimes pronounce it, right? So he can appear, hey, you guys, what are you talking about on this road here? And he can look very ordinary. Why? Because he's transphysical. If he wants to appear like a physical being, he can appear like a physical being. But he can also very definitely appear looking like Jesus in his former body, and certainly he can appear in a divinized, spiritualized, glorified, powerful way, which he did universally in the appearances to the apostles. So that being the case, right, we don't know why, first of all, Jesus appears to the women in a much more corporeal form. Were they used to, seeing him that way? Did Jesus choose this because, he wanted to have Mary identify him in her heart? I have to believe he did. But, the idea of why don't touch me in this state? Raymond Brown in one commentary interprets it one way. Other people in other commentaries interpret it another way, as being that maybe he is not in his glorified form at this point and is ascending to the Father, as it were, imminently. And of course, there are other people who interpret it in other ways, that for all intents and purposes, Jesus is trying to prevent Mary maybe from being shocked or something by some change in him. There's just too many theories, and there's just not enough information to make any determination. Right. But I can tell you one thing for sure: the reason that he doesn't allow her to touch him is not because she is somehow less deserving than Thomas. I mean, the reason has to do with his glorified state, or maybe not being fully into the glorified state, or something of that nature. It has to do with something more metaphysical than it has to do with, Mary's very worthy. I mean, she's obviously a total convert and a saint.